Shout out to US ARC and all US ARC members. If you don't know what US ARC is, don't be ashamed. Just go ahead and click the third link in the description below. See what US ARC is all about, okay? You never know when legislations are going to hit your backyard, so that's why it's very important to consider becoming a US ARC member today. These numbers really do matter, and they look at it for consideration when it comes to battling legislation. So first and foremost, thank you, Phil Goss. Thank you to anybody out there who partners up and volunteers with US ARC organization. Thank you for anyone out there who's a US ARC member. And if you can't become a US ARC member today, please talk about it on your platforms. Let your neighbors know, let all your pet stores know what US ARC is here for, and it's here to fight for our animal rights. Thank you to every US ARC member and US ARC supporter out there.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man.
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes.
Exclusive. Oh.
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, God love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up, rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up, rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up, rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up.
Trap Talk Reptile Network, the coolest reptile network in the world. This is episode 719, the final Trap Talk with MJ of 2025. And it's just you and I tonight, fam. That's right. It's a one-on-one final thought of 2025 with your boy MJ. Dude, what a year, guys. First and foremost, happy new year. By the time you guys are listening to this episode, it's 2026. But as of right now, it's still 2025 in my world. And so I have some final things I want to say on this year. Overall, kind of just recap, one-on-one with you guys. I just also think it's been a long time since I've had a one-on-one podcast with you guys as well. I feel like those are much needed, only because myself, I feel like I get a chance to kind of just say things how I want to say them. And I just want to say thank you so much for all the support. Man, I have so many of you who've been listening to this Thursday night episode for years. And honestly, man, without that support, without that constant feedback that I've gotten from many of you guys, some of you the same people, some of you new people, dude, man, it's so, how can I say? I mean, it's rewarding, but it's also just so rejuvenating. Like it makes me like re-gas up in my mind what I want to do for everything as far as for the network and for this, in the hobby in general, the reptiles. Because, we're going to talk about it tonight, that I had my biggest year ever when it came to breeding. Finally, man, I outdid stuff that isn't podcast related. I did we'll get to the network as well. I got a list of things I want to talk about tonight, and I'm kind of getting all over the place already because I'm just excited to kind of just talk about how this year went, good and bad, or I would say a lot of opportunities for me this year as well. the fact that this year was so record breaking as far as breeding, I still had a lot of stuff life changing come my way as well, which was all for the good, of course. You know what I mean? Changes are so important when it comes to life. So we'll get to all that, man. I do want to say thank you for my Patreon members. Okay. Now listen, if you want to go into our 2026 journey with us, if you really want to grow into the hobby, if you want to be excited about being a part of this hobby / industry, then come join the Trap Talk Patreon family, because every Patreon member of mine is so excited to be a part of this hobby. And it's very awesome to be a part of self-minded individuals who love reptiles, who want to learn by the reptiles, grow into the reptile business, or just overall keeping. We have it all, so come join the Trap Talk Patreon family. You can simply do that by clicking the first link in the description below. As soon as you join the Patreon family, connect to a Discord, and there's an awesome Instagram group chat where it's active 24/7. We got people from all over the world. So my trappers, my Patreon members, thank you so much. 6 years going on Patreon now. And dude, I didn't think I'd make it this far. I really want to say thank you to all you guys, all your guys' support. Every single one of you guys. I don't take for granted not any of you guys. So again, thank you for the support. 2026 is going to be something else. And yeah, shout out to all my Patreon members. I also want to say shout out to all my sponsors. I'm very blessed to have the support I do from all my sponsors. A lot of my sponsors been with me for many, many years. And I just want to say thank you to all my sponsors. You can find all the links to all my sponsors in the description below. I was fortunate enough to pick up some new sponsors going in 2026, which I'm going to hold off for the end of the episode, and I'll shout that out in a bit. But again, man, shout out to all my sponsors. And I just want to say shout out to Rami over at the Reptile Super Show, because I'm going to be there in attendance, vending with MORPH Market, my boy Emilio, Big E Top G, Villarino Reptiles from Miami, all the way to Pomona, LA. So yeah, dude, it's going down. Reptile Super Show, January 10th and 11th. Please set your reminder or make it a thing to attend the Reptile Super Show, because it's the best show in the world. Hands down. It's the coolest, most packed. So many people go to this show. When it comes to the attendance, it's unmatched. Okay. Thank you so much again. Rami, Reptile Super Show, going down January 10th and 11th, 2026. All right. Thank you again. Find the link to the Reptile Super Show's website in the description below. And you can also find them on Instagram. Go give them a follow. And I'm just, dude, really excited for that show. So if you are going to the Reptile Super Show, drop a comment. Let me know that you'll be going. Again, you can find me at the MORPH Market booth. I'll be collaborating with them with my Trap Talk booth and everything like that. And I will have some animals there also. No chondros. I wanted to. I just don't have it in me yet. I don't know. Again, my biggest year ever. Do I want to risk that by just taking them all to a show, which I do think overall they'll be fine. It's just I don't think I can handle the mental stress right now. I got enough happening right now. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, again, shout out to all my sponsors again, and I cannot wait again for the Reptile Super Show. But man, let's get into it, dude. Again, I just want to say what a year it's been. A lot of things I learned about breeding this year, breeding chondros, breeding emeralds. A lot of things I learned about myself, in life in general. But before we get into personal stuff, I want to get into some of the breeding stuff. I would say, as much as it was amazing to have 6 chondro clutches, dude, having that emerald tree boa litter was the pinnacle for me. Mainly because, if you want to talk about uphill battles to get to that fruition of here it is, it's living. Dude, the emeralds was no joke. Emeralds was a lot harder, in my opinion, than the chondros. It didn't take me as long, but also, I was able to hatch out a chondro, within my first year of breeding, and it just wasn't like that with emeralds. Now that chondro didn't establish well, but again, with emeralds, the uphill battle was a lot more steep. You know what I mean? And so to get that litter of emeralds, and mind you too, I was lucky enough to have a male sired that is a pure Miss Willie line from my buddy Ryan Woolison. There's only a handful of people who are really working with Miss Willie line stuff. Ryan is definitely front of the line when it comes to that. He's definitely someone I really look up to when it comes to just overall northern emerald tree boa keeping and whatnot. He's one of the dudes I looked up to from the very beginning. And so to have one of his males actually sire a litter was that's what made everything even much more awesome and magical, I feel like. Because, Miss Willie line stuff is probably the biggest reason why I love emerald so much. Even before seeing basins, I was tapped into Miss Willie line stuff. And so again, getting that litter, which just to remind you guys, there was a total of 9 live originally, and then I ended up losing 3, I believe, from the belly prolapse that happens. And if you guys don't know what a belly prolapse is, and this is something that I probably isn't a real name for it, it's just something me and Chris Rice have discussed, but it's kind of something where if the babies come out, because mind you, once that mom wants to let the babies out, there's no stopping it. They're coming out. So not always are the babies as mature as or developed, fully developed as each other, right? There's some that are maybe a little bit behind the curve. And so what happens with, in this case, is some of these could have, where their umbilical cord is stuck on their stomach, it's a little bit too premature. And so if that umbilical cord gets torn off too premature, that stomach has a tendency to just stick out or stay out. And it's pretty gnarly to see. But, Chris Rice, again, someone who's been a huge mentor of mine, somebody who I feel like really held my hand when it come to getting this litter earlier this year, him and Dr. Booth, Warren Booth. So, when it comes down to it, like he had a baby just recently that had that stomach underdevelopment issue. And so I forget where he's at with it. I believe he tied it off, but his baby is alive right now. I tied my little extra yolk sac or whatever that they had off, and they died maybe a day or 2 after that happened. But I ended up with 6 of them. And so I ended up with 6 live babies who all established. I did give one baby to Coach Rice, just because, I want some of my work in his collection. Why not? And he's been a huge help, and he's going to send me one of his babies at some point. And so, but I did send him one that was, I guess it had one meal with me. And he was willing just to take it because he knew I had a lot of chondros that were about to hatch. He's like, hey, MJ, like, send that baby now. I'm cool with it. And so that was a deal that we had where I'm like, all right, let me just send it to you. And so sure enough, when he gets it, it turns out to be a terrible eater, but he's now getting it to come around finally. But other than that, baby, all the ones that I held on to and kept here, and even the ones that I sold, beasts of eaters, man, all doing great. So me personally, my experience feeding the babies and establishing them were a freaking cakewalk. If you guys want to know what I did to get them all started off, I fed them all live hopper mice, left them in overnight, just to try it out, And sure enough, I came back, or I didn't even come back. I think within that 20, 30-minute range, they all took it. And so that was like a ball python experience, in my opinion. Like, holy shoot, like you guys, I just threw the rodent in there and you ate it. So way cooler than trying to establish a neonate chondro, I'll tell you that much. So that was, again, what an experience. If you guys are wondering what's going on this year with your emeralds, MJ, well, right now it's December. I will say that the female that laid this litter earlier this year, she looked so good and bounced back so well where I didn't hesitate to pair her up again. But to be honest, I didn't get no action. So, and I'm okay with that. Honestly, I didn't push her. I wasn't like, she just looked good. I got her, she got back on large rats pretty quickly. And she looks amazing. All the meat on her head is back, but I just, again, didn't push it too hard. Threw a male in there, same time as I did the last 2 years, just to see what would happen. And it's funny because I just now removed, and by the way, I was shooting for hybrids. I had Benny the Basin in with her. And so didn't see no action for a while. And then as I was kind of just summing up to like, dude, just pull him. It's, leave it alone. He started courting her and messing with her. But at that time I was kind of like, well, by this time last year, she had already approached her ovulation. So I was just like, oh, Benny, you're a little too late, buddy. So I pulled him out, but he was definitely trying to get in it. And so, but decided to abort that mission for this year and just feel better, just giving her a full year of recovery, which is, I definitely recommend. I'm not saying you can't do it. I know other guys out there who do repeat pairings, and God bless them, but yeah, no rush for that. And then I will say I did pair up my 50-50 Basin hybrid Northern female, who is, I believe she's 6 years old. She's big. But I tossed in my Miss Willie with her. Because if you want to know my true opinion when it comes to the hybrids, I rather have higher percentage Northerns than Basins, because when it comes to the hybrids, I like pattern. I want the biggest bold white lightning bolts I could get on their backs. I need insane pattern, black bleeding all to the whites, all that crazy stuff. And you get that with higher percentage Northerns, from what I understand, talking to people who've done the project. So that was my goal with that. And I saw a couple locks. Well, I can't say locks. Okay. I didn't see the locks I like to see the emeralds lock. And that's when their tails just completely hang down and you just see it. It's like, I'll put a picture right here. But yeah, it is locked. And so anyways, didn't see any of that. They're still paired up right now. And, you know, mind you, the Northerns could be going at a different time than a 50-50 basin. Who knows? Maybe she just needs more time. Again, I'm not pushing it. I just pulled the male because he stopped breeding her for a while. You know, I fed her another meal. So I'm going to just give him like a 2-week break, and I'll attempt to breed them again up till March. But once March hits, if there's nothing really going down, I don't know. Not too sure what I'll do, to be honest. I'm just not in the Emerald project world right now, because I got my litter and I already got my taste of the glory. I you know, when it happens again, you know. And I'm lucky enough, I'm raising a lot of females. And also too, I just don't have a lot of adult females, like ready to breed females. Next year I'll have more, but you know, the Emerald Tree Boa game, man, I try to explain this to people. It's a slow growing game, man. Like, it takes a while. Yeah, people say 4 years old, 5 years old, you could get a female to breed, but I wouldn't recommend it. Like, you're better off holding off till they're like about 6, 7 years old. Maturity is on your side when it comes to breeding emeralds. So, but again, I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I just had one litter, so we'll see day by day. But that's all I have to say on the emeralds. And again, if you guys want to know more information on my projects, if you want to talk to me personal, you just hit me up on Instagram, Trap Talk 619 on IG, or again, if you really want to get to know me better, come join the Patreon and I'll connect with you on that. But anyways, emeralds, thank you so much. I will say highlight of the year. Highlight of the year for me were the emeralds. Okay, the Northern Miss Willie line stuff. Held back 3 babies. I love them. And shout out to my other homies who got babies from me, Coach Rice, my homie Shane, my homie JJ, and then the homie Brandon Wheeler. Those guys all got Miss Willie line trap produced Emerald Tree Boas, Northerns from me. So stoked. Those guys are all awesome. But anyways, all right, let's move forward. Dude, the Chondros, holy crap. 70 for 70. Just give myself a round of applause, dude. Somebody has to clap it up for me. I'm just kidding. No, you guys giving me so much love. And I got to tell you, I've been riding the wave all year. Because, dude, it feels good. Finally, I can fucking brag a little bit. We all know MJ likes to brag. And, you know, kind of just be happy that, man, like, I did stuff not a lot of people could do. You know what I mean? What I did, is it something, an impossible feat? No, dude. And I'm sure somebody out there probably did hit as many as Chondros as I did, or whatnot, or Bill. You know, keep in mind, Bill, with his collaboration with Buddy, he did more than mine, you know, than what I did this year. But I didn't have a collaboration. I just want that for the record. I was solo. Okay, I don't have an Alex Warren, and I don't have a Buddy collaboration deal out there. Okay, but the mayor, do shout out to the mayor. What a year! Because if you want to talk about quality, right? I get it. I got the quantity, but my goal is to match my quality with the quantity. I'm not saying I didn't have the quality this year. I'm just saying, if we're looking at Bill's stuff, the mayor, God, bro, the guy doesn't miss. Very inspiring stuff, and very honored and happy to say, you know, Bill's a good friend of mine. He's a co-host on Tuesday nights on this network with me. He's helped me grow a lot. And man, shout out to the mayor. But yeah, going back to me, 70 for 70, dude. And honestly, like, coming from my past with Chondros, where I could get the eggs, like every year I would get eggs, but I couldn't get more than half of them to hatch out. Or even if I did, prolapses. Like, even if I finally got to the stage of them fully coming out, which I forgot, like 3 years ago, I was getting clutches of like 15 eggs, and they would all come out. I had maybe 2 years of that happening, where I had a good amount of eggs go the distance. They came out, and of course, prolapse city, right? So my biggest fear of 2025 and establishing Chondros was not the feeding. Okay, I felt so confident from the year before with figuring out the live geckos, and then having a colony of crested geckos on deck ready to go. Dude, I have so many crested geckos. Oh my God. But I was ready for the feeding. I was like, you know, and also I was listening a lot to Bill Stiegel talk about his technique and what's been working for him. And I want to say, you know, Bill being so outspoken about how he establishes his babies helped me out big time. And I know it's helped out a lot of you other guys as well. So again, shout out to Bill. But yeah, I wasn't worried about the feeding, dude. I was more like, bring it on with the feeding. The thing I was really worried about was the prolapses, because I would always make a change thinking, okay, this is what's going to happen to fix the prolapses. But guess what? Prolapses. And so as much as I was excited to have fucking 70 eggs in the incubator And I felt great about them incubating because I just felt like my incubation was on point. I was like, dude, what am I going to do if these all fucking prolapse? Like, I would be so pissed. And so, again, kind of always looking back on what I did that I could have done different. One of the things that stood out to me the most was last year, I went from tap water to purified water. But then what I wasn't doing was putting purified water in my sprayer. And I spray a lot. We all know MJ likes to spray. And I could tell you right now, babies drink majority off spray water droplets off their body, not the dish. For sure, I'll tell you that right now. But especially when they're first coming out and they're establishing and whatnot. And this is Chondros, not Emeralds, Coach Rice, before he jumps in here and says, I don't spray my babies. Talking about Chondros, all right, dude? But yeah, I can tell you right now, from my experience, all my babies, for the most part, were drinking off their bodies before they were drinking out of the dish. So with that being said, I had tap water in the freaking sprayer. And I was using that. And it took me like almost, I think what was happening was because most of the babies from last year didn't have an issue, but I did notice a couple that had stool that just looked weird, like the real grainy, sandy, like really discolored urates. And I just was like, dude, that's not what I'm looking for. Like, what's going on? And so I noticed they had issues with their bowel movements, and then of course prolapses. And I think last year, out of the 15 babies, not including Fish, shout out to Fish, Fish is doing great, but on the other clutch that had 15, I think I ended up getting 3 or 4 prolapses, which again, a lot better than what I'm used to. But I'm like, what did I do different? Like, I don't understand. I changed it up, but no, dude, I didn't put purified water in my freaking sprayer. So I was like, all right, then here we go again. I'm going to make sure I have purified water inside my sprayer, inside everything I use. So what I was initially going to use was just a bottle sprayer and just put purified water. Because what I have is I have those Brita purified water jugs. I have a few of them, and I just keep those full and I use those. But then I even doubled down and got a, I guess it's for those RVs people have, and it purifies their water. Like, you screw it on to the faucet and the tap water is purified water. So I got one of those. Shout out to Brandon Wheeler. He's the one that put me on game with that. And so I got one of those. And so now I thought in my mind, okay, now I have double filtration water in a sense, and stuck to that all year. And dude, let's get to it, right? 70 babies hatched. Within 2 weeks, 3 of those babies died. No really cause to it. I think one of them were entangled into the egg and was just weak and just didn't make it. Another one ate and died. And I can't forget the other one. I think the other one actually, I forget what the issue was. He just died. I had a couple that just died, and that's just going to happen. Right. And so I had 67. So I was like, man, 67. So I had 67 to really focus on, and dude, got them all to eat. I will tell you, when I ran into the last clutches, which was clutch 6 and 5, those were the Calico babies. And for whatever reason, okay, so let's rewind. My first clutch that hatched out, which was supposed to be a pure BIAC clutch, ended up being a locality outcross clutch, because I originally planned to pair Sugar Free, my Sarong male, to Elvira, which is my pure BIAC. I saw maybe one lock or two from them, and then he stopped hitting it. And I was like, what's going on? And so I separated, and for whatever reason, I put Suge Knight in, and Suge Knight is a red dominant. So I was like, I put Suge Knight in with the hopes of just making a pure BIAC clutch, and Suge Knight went to town on her. He blasted her. And so I was like, whoa, okay, cool. And so she ovulated, gave me the eggs. And so here we are. When I went to go see them pip, I saw a yellow, and I'm like, why is there a yellow neonate in the clutch? There should be no, because I already proven out that Suge Knight is a red dominant. So I was really like confused, and I was like, why is this the case? And so as they were emerging and as they were coming out, I noticed there was a lot more different look that they had compared to pure BIAC. I mean, not crazy different, but enough to where you could tell, okay, maybe Suge Knight didn't sire this clutch. Maybe it was sugar free, because there's plenty of examples of people making sarong to BIAC, monochoric BIAC, projects or clutches out there and stuff like that. And I was comparing a lot of my babies to what they were making. And sure enough, dude, pretty on point. And now we are at we're at the stage where they're 4 months now. And definitely, man, they are locality crosses. So my first clutch, which was supposed to be a pure BIAC clutch, was a locality outcross. Monocory / Sarong to pure Biak. And yeah, those babies all ate great, man. They all ate on the first go. So I would say that clutch was like check mark, easy to establish, you know. What a great experience, just because I'm not used to that first and foremost. So that was awesome. And then we got into the pure Biak clutch that I had, which was sired by my male who passed away shortly after he bred. And that male, his name's Big Dick, just because many reasons why he was named that. And so he was my high melanistic pure Biak, super, super black. And he was paired to a high yellow Biak that I had. And so she was a yellow neonate, by the way, but I knew Big Dick was a red dominant. So I paired her to him, and they, of course, they gave me, I believe 14 eggs and all reds. So that was my first all red clutch of the year, which was the third clutch, of course. And so really excited. And that was my only pure Biak clutch of the year. And those babies walk in the park to eat, man. I don't think not one of them didn't take a meal. They all eaten. And I did sell majority of that clutch. I want to say again, I think there was, I can't remember off the top of my head how many were in that clutch, but I did sell majority and end up holding back 4, or maybe 5. I have to double check, but yeah, definitely happy I at least got one pure Biak clutch. I'm still going to pursue pure Biak clutches in the future. Like I have some high yellow stuff. And I know some of my friends are laughing right now because you can't call a Biak high yellow unless it's 6 or 7 years old. Whatever, dude. All right. I have a good feeling. But anyways, I got stuff that I feel like I could produce that's pure Biaks that aren't pure Biaks that are out there. Like I feel like they'll be on another level. I also feel like there's a lot of potential working with pure locality projects out there because not enough people have put enough time like line breeding pure locality stuff. And if you look at some of the nicest pure locality stuff out there that David Brahms has from the Reptile Perch, and then Gary Scavino from GS Reptiles, Steven Saltzman from Cosmic Chondros, dude, look at that line of monocory. Okay. Like that is, you don't see stuff out there. So I want to make it a point that Biak has a line like that. And so Biak locality has been my bread and butter from the very beginning. And I've always had a love for Biak locality. And to this day, it's the most powerful king of the fucking castle locality in my world. I love it. Nothing else better out there. So I'm going to definitely hold on to working with pure Biak stuffs in the future. I have a couple pure Biak pairings in mind because as of right now, I have no pairings happening. It is about to approach January. Nobody's eating right now. We are on a complete fast until the end of January, and that's when I start reintroducing food, and that's when I start pairing up. So right now, I'm definitely like my final, blueprints of what I want to do with breeding. It's coming down to the wire right now because it's about that time. And what's awesome is I got so many more males available this year that are ready to breed finally, and they're potent, man. We got. Well, we used to be called Doogie Howser. His name's Lex Luthor now. Doogie Howser, ideally for a male breeder, just not ideal. I thought about it, and I had a friend say, tell me, MJ, you sure you want to name him that? And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So pull the plug. His name's not Doogie Howser no more. That's out. Lex Luthor, which is the Optimus Prime to Fluttershy baby from Socrates. Okay, crazy blood, but he's ready to rock and roll. I did pair him up last year to my crazy looking Aru Biak girl that ended up passing away from a tumor on her heart this year. But yeah, super stoked to see what he does this year because he's 4 years old. And again, I've heard some stories about males not breeding till about 6 or 7. I hope that's not the case for Lex Luthor, especially after changing his name, but we'll see. And of course, I have something that is a descendant from the Sickness. I believe it's the Sickness's sister's son, who I thought was a female, but it's a male, 2023 production from the homie Joey Westgate. So super excited to see what he does this year, because if I could get some Sickness blood going into any of this stuff, poof, that's a dream. That's a legit dream. And then if you want to talk about other dream stuff, I have a Patrick Holmes, and the reason why I'm looking over there because all my males are in this corner, but I have a Patrick Holmes male that I found out that was a male this year. Again, I thought this was a female, but turned out to be a male, another 2023. He is a Blue Deuce Watermelon paired to a pure Biak. And so, man, powerful blood right there. And I have a couple other stuff that other males that are on the roster to breed. I'm excited to see what happens. But yeah, nothing is paired up right now. Everything is pre-gaming. We're in the pre-game stage right now. So, But yeah, kind of going back to my clutches, you know, after the Pure Biak clutch came my first designer outcross locality clutch of the year, which was from a Bill Stiegel designer to another Pure Biak. And so wasn't too sure if there was a red dominant chance. I will say the female that the Bill Stiegel production was paired to, it was a real high melanistic black looking Biak, and I could have sworn she was red dominant, but she's never given me a clutch. And so I had high hopes of thinking she would be the red dominant and all the babies would be red, but no, sure enough, there were yellows in the clutch. And so, and I'm not disappointed, guys. I know some of you guys are like, oh, MJ, why you sound salty about, yeah, I'm not. I just rather have reds. If I'm going to make something, I want what I want. But again, wasn't upset. Cool. We got yellows. And so I think we got 2 yellows out of that clutch, if I'm not mistaken. And so I ended up holding them back because, again, you know, I'd rather see what those yellows do with me, because I know there's so much potential with yellows, especially if it has designer blood in it. And they also make a great foundation snake as well for any project, for sure. So, but yeah, that clutch, I would say that Bill Stiegel to Pure Biak clutch was easy to establish as well, man. I'm pretty sure they all ate on the first. I might have had maybe a couple pain in the butts. No, actually, I do take that back. Little Peep is okay. So one of the babies I'm proud about the most this year when it comes to chondros is a snake named Warpig. Warpig is one of the darkest snakes I've ever made. But then he also had this little sibling called Little Peep. Little Peep was behind the curve. It ate once and then it didn't eat after that again. And I was going on this whole like, all right, don't force feed it or assist feed it. Because it already took one meal. Let's see if it comes around. And I waited like a month and a half, and just waiting that 1 month and a half made this thing so much more tinier than its siblings. But it's eating and it's doing its thing. I just needed more time, I guess. And so I experimented. That was a cool thing about having so many chondro babies. Like, I didn't have the same approach to everything. I wanted to mess around. I wanted to see, what if I do this? What if I do that? And I did that a lot with a lot of the babies this year. But none of the pain in the butt babies didn't come until the calico stuff, which we'll get right now in a minute. But yeah, overall, the Bill Stiegel to Pure Biak clutch was definitely something I was really, really excited about and happy, because all those babies are bangers. I don't even think I sold any. Who got it? I think Krista. So Krista is, I think, the only person who got a baby out of that clutch, and I held back the rest. Oh, actually, my buddy Derek Stack got a yellow. So I gave Derek Stack a yellow neonate. And mind you, I didn't sell any yellow neonates this year. I gave them all away. That's right. First ever in chondro history did a breeder give away yellow neonates, dude. And I'm still going to do it. And yeah, dude, I have a purpose on why I did that. It's getting people so excited to be a part of the chondro game. And, you know, why not give back? Plain and simple. That's why I just felt like giving back. So anyways, and I also did keep the yellows I wanted to keep. I didn't just give away all the yellows. Don't get me wrong. I just don't want to keep that many. So yeah, that was the deal with that. Really, I would say probably the Bill Stiegel to Pure Biak clutch was the most, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Warpig is amazing. I mean, having a dark neonate is a dream of mine. I still want to get darker, but still, like, that's a huge, huge step for me. So yeah, that was an awesome clutch. Now, if we get into the calico stuff, the last 2 clutches. So I had a calico male named Tommy Gun who sired these last 2 clutches of mine, also to Pure Biaks. And yeah, man, amazing, amazing stuff. So the first calico clutch I got was to a Pure Biak. I wasn't too sure if Tommy Gun was a red dominant. Neither was Mark. So Tommy Gun came from Mark Hager. And so he comes from that line of calico. And so wasn't too sure if Tommy Gun was a red dominant. So I wasn't knowing what to expect. Of course, in my heart, I was hoping he was. But that first Biak clutch that he sired this year, sure enough, there were 6 yellows. And I was like, dang it. There was like, I think 14, 15 eggs, or maybe 16 in that clutch. And we got 6 yellows. And I was like, man, that's a lot of yellows. But again, I was stoked because the babies looked awesome, man. I hit reds I've never hit before. I mean, this is the first time I've ever gotten designer outcross stuff. I've never produced anything designer to a locality. So this was really awesome. And so that was something that came out. And then shortly after, about a week later, the final clutch of the year, that Tommy Gun sired came out, and there were no yellows. So I was happy to see that my My final female that gave me a clutch this year, which was a pure BX, is more likely a red dominant. I can't stomp and say for a fact that she is, but again, 16 reds, 0 yellows, and the clutch before 6 yellows. Come on, you would think if she wasn't a red dominant, there would at least be 1 or 2 yellows in there, but 0, dude. So again, I'm going to prove that this year because I think I'm putting a yellow male to her just to prove my point. And I think that's the only way you could really prove a point is if you put a yellow neonate to a red and you get all reds, there's your answer. So probably gonna do that this year, but I was so stoked to end the year with a red dominant clutch because, you know, I was confused about the first clutch of the year and all that shit with that being a different sire. But man, what a way to end things. And of course, a lot of the babies. Now, if I want to talk about how these things came out, well, I had to intervene on like 6 or 7 eggs. Almost every clutch that I had to go in and help 1 or 2 babies get untangled. And, you know, you kind of notice that they're having issues when you see all the other babies out. And if one is staying in the egg for a reason and it's not really moving much, I would look into it. So I didn't waste any time looking into these ones. And every single one, sure enough, were entangled inside the egg. And I remember one specifically is the one that actually passed away shortly after it came out, but it was so knotted up that I barely got in it just in time to untie it to give it more air. Like it was literally gasping for its last breath because it kind of stayed limp in my hands for a little bit. And like after a while it started coming back too. And so I was like, oh, wow, this thing's still alive. And so, why that happens, I don't know. I'm really happy that out of the 70, like there was only 6 or 7 of them. And, you know, even though that may sound like a lot, still it could have been a lot more. I mean, I've seen cases where, you know, you see 9 or 10 of them all tangled up and, you know, another thing to be worried about. But yeah, can't really explain why that happened. It just happened. I'm just happy I stepped in when I did. And I think only 1 or 2 didn't make it. And I feel like just maybe either they weren't meant to make it or maybe they were just too knotted up for too long and the oxygen just didn't get back to their brain how it should have and they just passed away. Who knows? But another, I guess, puzzling thing is the whole tied up inside the egg, the umbilicus. And so it's not a pretty thing. I'll be honest, going in there, taking them out. Like I've had someone ask me if I could send them a video. I almost don't want that to be on video, to be honest, because it's not, I don't know. I'd rather do it than having them die. But again, it's not really a pretty thing. And I feel like if that video gets into the wrong hands, it could just do damage to the hobby. So I don't know how I feel. Maybe drop me a comment. Let me know if I'm overthinking. Should I put a video out on how I untangle them? Or maybe another chondro keeper wants to do it. Do it. I don't know. It's a stressful time, first and foremost. I'm not like, I know a lot of people are good at keeping composures out there, but I'm kind of stressed in that moment. And maybe it's just because I'm still new, even though I'm not new, but new to the experience. Maybe I'll get more at ease with time. But yeah, definitely happy I still stepped in. And I'm going to do it again, definitely, because I feel like it helped. And so again, I will say overall, having all 70 at one point be alive and out, dude, that's epic. And that just makes me so happy because again, I struggled with incubation leading up to the last 2 years of success in the chondro game. And so to have that checked off, I'm just going to tell you guys, get an incubator and dial it in, man. Make sure it's dialed in. And if you get good eggs, and your egg box is on point, you should be fine. So, but yeah, it was crazy. Definitely didn't think I was going to have that kind of ratio, 70 for 70, but dude, ship it. Let's take it. I'll take it to the bank. And so with that being said, I would say I had 3 prolapses. Okay. So out of the 67, I ended up getting 3 prolapses, which there was a time and place where I thought I was going to get none because everything seemed so straightforward. And then I got one so randomly. I got a random prolapse. It was kind of a damper. I was like, dude, dang it. Like that would have been crazy to say that I had 0 prolapses, but nope. Chondro gods took that from me for sure. So ended up with 1 prolapse. And then I took my dad to the Dodger game, World Series. One of the best things I've ever done, man. Probably one of the best decisions I ever made in my life was take my dad to his dream team's World Series, the Dodgers. It was a whole day and a half thing. I remember spontaneously buying my dad the tickets and having to talk to my wife. Shout out to my wife, who's just a soldier and just a huge supporter of mine. But, you know, because she was about to give, you know, about to deliver our second baby at that time. And so I was like, yo, can I go to LA and go to the World Series game? And she's like, what? And so anyways, I ended up dipping out, but I forgot to refill my air care humidifiers with the water. So my room dried out so quickly, and it dried out quick. Like, and so I came back late that night, didn't even really check the humidity in my room. I was so tired. I just went to sleep, not really thinking about it, because I'm all like still off a high of going to the World Series, and like couldn't believe I took my dad to a World Series game. Like it's kind of like a wild thing for me in life. And so I woke up the next day and I go, yeah, no. I'm like, ooh, wow, it's dry in my room. And so I realized, oh man, my humidifiers are empty. So I fill them up and I go straight to checking all the chondros. And I definitely saw like, man, the paper towels dry. And I'm like, dude, well, these look pretty dry. And so I'm checking them. And then sure enough, I see one, boom, there's a prolapse. And so I'm like, oh my God. And so I removed the water dish. I removed the, just clean it out, right? Take out everything, put it on the floor. And what I would normally do with a prolapse is instantly go in there. Like okay, this is what I'll do step by step, right? If I see a prolapse, shout out to Gary Scavino, by the way, I get a bunch of raw sugar, table sugar, okay? And I put it on a fresh paper towel, the snake, and I dump a bunch of sugar onto the prolapse directly. I'm not modest with it. I cover it. I make sure I cover that. And if everything goes well, within 24 hours, that prolapse should be back in on its own, okay? So what was happening with me is like I was kind of jumping in too soon, and I was just getting a probe and putting it back in. And I just think that kind of causes a lot more damage than we think using a probe, you know, especially if you're not careful. And I'm not saying I wasn't careful, but who knows what I was really doing, right? I don't know. It's just not like the snake's talking to me. So I was kind of, and I forgot what guest we had on All in the Tree Tuesday, but they said, you know what, we just either massage it back in or we let it just go back in on its own. And so if it wasn't going back in on its own within 24 hours, I still didn't go in there and try to assist it. So I just was like, I had the game plan with, you know what, let it kind of put it back in on its own. If it can, give it a couple days. And I was able to do that with these. And sure enough, you know, they seem to hold it back in. Now, mind you, like as soon as I thought I was in the clear, and I believe I even got them to the second meal, and then sure enough, boom, I saw another prolapse. And so again, dude, I don't know, man, what really chalked it up to it? In my head, I'm thinking, dude, you left your room too dry, and that's what happened. Because why would that happen now? I don't know. I really can't explain it. I'm really happy nothing else prolapsed, and that was it. But because of that situation, I ended up getting 2 of them to prolapse, and yeah, they didn't make it either. Yeah, so and so I'm back on the whole, like, I've never had a snake prolapse and make it. I've only had them pass away. So that's probably my next big thing in my chondro goal setting is, like, you know, being able to get as less prolapses as possible, which I feel like I did this year. But even if I do get a prolapse, how can I make it survive? Or again, is that even something I could even control? I don't know. As Bill Stiegel will say, anecdotal. But I don't try to, you know, let it beat me up too much. Again, 3 prolapses out of 70, I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Obviously, something I did this year helped. So I'm going to go into the next year with the exact same game plan. And maybe also the same thing. If I see a prolapse, don't assist it right away. Like, let it put it back on its own. So, but again, if you guys have any feedback as far as the prolapse topic goes, please drop a comment or just shoot me a message. I want to say appreciate anyone who does. You know, I get a lot of you guys who come up with theories and ideas, and you guys say, hey, MJ, have you thought of this? Majority of stuff I have thought of, and we talked about it, but still, that shows me that you guys are really tapped in and that you guys care. So I welcome any of that stuff in the DMs. Bring it my way, please. So any theories, anything you guys think we could do differently, let us know. I appreciate it so much. But yeah, overall, guys, I think it came down to 63 chondros. And once I got them all ready to rock and roll, man, I mean, I had a wait list. And I want to say thank you so much, by the way, because producing 70 chondros, you know, I can't keep all 70 of them. You know, I mean, as much as I would love to, it's just not practical. I ended up having a wait list of 19 people. before I even had these established, which was kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I don't know. I can't say I never will, because it felt good knowing I had 19 of them sold. I just got to get them established. And I had so many to establish. I'm like, I could do this. And so I'll probably continue the wait list. I mean, I still have a couple homies waiting on some stuff that I only let them on a list because they're my boys. And so I'm keeping them looped in, but I probably will do the same thing. And again, best way to be a part of any wait list that I have available, straight to Patreon. So make sure you come join the Patreon. Find the link in the description below. But yeah, straight to the Patreon for any wait lists and stuff like that. And yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, man, shouts out everyone who bought a snake from me this year. Out of the 63, I ended up selling 27 chondros. Dude, what a blessing. So, and actually I had more than that, because I ended up selling a couple after that whole bulk of, because I sold the land. There was a time of this year where I was shipping out so much, and it just felt great because they're all chondros. But you know, man, yeah, I just very blessed. And I want to say thank you to anyone who's bought a chondro. And what's cool is like, man, every chondro I sold this year is doing great. Like everyone's enjoying it. Everyone's having a good experience. They're all eating. So that just feels amazing to me. Will it be like that next year? Who knows? Maybe not. I don't know. But this was awesome to experience, first and foremost. So yeah, just want to say a quick thank you to all my new customers and returning customers and people who've been waiting for me. Like I had some people I sold snakes to who've been waiting for me to have available chondro for like 5 years. A shout out to my boy, Big Mike, 1776 Exotics. He's my very, very first Patreon member. And he's always telling me like, dude, let me know. And so sure enough, man, shout out to him. People like that is why I'm just like, so just beyond thrilled to be a part of what we're doing here. And so, yeah, man, the chondros, thank you to the chondro gods, man. Listen, I know you guys took it easy on me this year. Thank you. That's all I got to say. Thank you. It was not, you know, I did not overlook it, just so you know. And also this year, okay, so I was hoping to have 7 clutches to end 2025. But this female right here, this Aru Biak, little reminder of the chondro gods, ain't nothing perfect. She gave me 11 slugs right the day after Christmas. Yeah, 11 slugs. It's all good. With my experience, man, if she could get them all out, that's not worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, she can't get them out and she dies. Last thing you want is slugs or good eggs and a dead snake. Like you don't want the female to die. Having her recover should be like the #1 thing on your list. And so very happy she's still here. She doesn't even look like she was gravid. And that's the one thing about slug out clutches. If you guys pay attention to the female, they look fine. Not that much was put into the eggs. So they're able to bounce back very quickly. So, you know, that's on the plus side of things. She's an older female. She's a female I got from Chad Brown. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm going to give her a good year off. And I just don't know how I feel about pairing in the fall too. Just fall pairings just don't work out for me. I don't know if it's because it's too warm, because it gets really warm in this room that time of year. So I think, especially with the amount of clutches I had this year, if that happens again going into next year, I'm going to not pair anything after May. May will be the cutoff date for me. Done. And so yeah, there's that. But yeah, I again, guys, I couldn't be more happier with how things went with me with the chondros this year, because as much as I love the podcast, right? Like you guys know how much effort I put into the network, which we're going to get into some network talk right now. But like, man, I really wanted people to talk about my breeding, because this is why I got into it. It was because I want to be known for the reptiles I work with, not for what I talk about. And so a lot of you guys know me for talking. And I get that. I mean, I love it, but I really want to back up what I talk about. And the thing is, I was very open about my struggles with breeding chondros. I never told you guys I was an expert. I'm still not a fucking expert, not even close, dude. Like, dude, oh my God. Like there's many things coming my way. And it's like that for any arboreal keeper, I feel like. But yeah, I'm just very thankful to have the opportunity to feel, just to have the feeling. I think the feeling is everything. And once you feel this feeling, I don't know no other life I'm going to live. You know, I still want to be the best father and best husband I could possibly be, but being the best keeper, you know, if I could be one of the best chondro keepers to ever walk this planet, dude, okay. Yeah. I want to be him. What do I got to do to be him? So, and I think what it takes to be the best is numbers. You need to have the numbers. You need to have the resume. You just need to have the work, dude. You know what I mean? And guess what? Shout out to people like the mayor, okay, who has put in years behind his work. And the success that he is having was not overnight success, not even a little bit. And then shout out to his right-hand man, Alex Warren, who Alex had another one who had an amazing year this year, but someone who's also put in a lot of work, someone who's also like questioned himself, which I feel like if you don't question yourself in the chondro game, then you're not trying hard enough for sure. Just letting you know. But anyways, yeah, man, this shit does not come easy. It's not overnight. You just really got to be dialed in. And I think it finally happened. I got dialed in. And I've said this plenty of times. People like Ryan Young, who actually was very honest about like my panels. And he told me stuff I didn't want to hear, but I respect Ryan enough where I listened. You know, I come from a cloth where listening just isn't my strong suit, you know. But again, I know listening to people in the reptile world, especially the right ones, dude, it prolongs you. And so shout out to my big dog, Ryan Young, who we had many conversations about what he thought on the panels and how I should be concerned and many other things. And I feel like getting those little small pieces of my room dialed in is why I had the success that I had this year. So, but again, guess what? This year's over. You know, as much as it's great to talk about all this stuff, bye. It's over. 2025 is in the books, fam. We are now in a new year. And I'm kind of happy. I'm happy that my best year is over with, because now I want to see what I do this year. I definitely don't want to be a one-hit wonder. I'll tell you that much. Personally, like I got personal goals. My personal goal is to outdo my year before, no matter what. So bring it on. Not to you, Chondro gods. Please take it easy. But yeah, anyways, Chondros, what a year, what a time. And again, thank you for all the support, all my customers. And I'm excited to see what I do next year. Ball pythons, wow, man. Holy crap. Talk about ball pythons real quick. I hit some cool stuff for sure. I had a super gravel. I had a pavement OD clown, het hypo female. I had another super gravel clown OD male. And I hit some other cool stuff, but there was other stuff I was really trying to hit that I just struck out on. And so I got humbled this year by the ball pythons. Still ended up with 13 clutches, a lot more than I expected, but I ended up getting 13 clutches. And yeah, you know, listen, I don't know. I'm so back and forth with the ball pythons. I feel like mainly with ball pythons, I want the space to be available where they're at right now in my room. But dude, I go back and forth. Like when it comes to cleaning the ball pythons and I'm taking them out, I like that I have them here. So I'm so bipolar. Like when it comes to like ball pythons being in my room, they not being in my room. Again, I just kind of struggle with the space. I wish I had more space. And again, I don't know, man, ball pythons, I don't ever see myself not having a ball python. They are the roots. They are like the passion. They are the reason why I have everything that I have today. And they are the biggest like feeding species to the hobby. Like this is where we get the most like outsiders coming in. You know what I mean? Like you got the most people who hate snakes that look at a ball python and they love snakes. And then guess what's next? Chondros. You guys know the deal. You guys know the pattern. Ball pythons, chondros, and emeralds. Remember that, people. That's the pattern. All right. I'll see you guys at the emerald department. But yeah, ball pythons always going to have my heart. I'm excited for next year. I'm game planning pairings. I'm hoping to get like 15 pairings next year, or 15 clutches next year. And that's that. So I hope anyone in the ball python game is excited to be a part of the ball python game. And if you're not, then don't waste your time, dude. Get out. Go do something else, or go work with something else. Like you don't be unhappy working with something. Okay. Ball pythons is worth being happy about. And there's a lot of exciting things to come. Like you guys, I have a good feeling about where things are headed with ball pythons globally. Okay. It's going to be a big force to be reckoned with as it's not already. Like, so shout out to my ball python breeders, keepers, enthusiasts, lovers, all you guys, man, saying it. And shout out to ball pythons. All right. Listen, I don't want to keep going too much longer. I do kind of want to talk about the network. And I do want to say, man, it's been over a year since I've had an episode every day of the week, man. And that comes from passion. It comes from hard work, dedication, and none of it would have been possible without my other hosts of the episodes. And I want to just shout out all of them, man. I want to start with Emilio, Villarino Reptiles, Monday, new breed on the block. That guy has been so consistent, not only with the episodes, but like his mentor and friendship outside of the episode has been tremendous to me. He is legit like a brother to me. And, you know, he's someone who's, you know, his life has not been the easiest. He was a young father, now has kids that are all raised and just like doing amazing things in life. Like I look at his kids and like, that's what really inspires me about Emilio is like how him and his wife raised their kids, beautiful kids, really smart kids, all have careers. You know what I mean? So that really inspires me to be a part of people like Emilio Villarino. And so Monday nights, man, I hope you guys are ready for 2026 because we have a lot of great plans. We're starting it off with a bang. Okay, so be ready for Monday nights, new breed on the block. Thank you so much, Emilio Villarino Reptiles. Go follow him on Instagram and also go subscribe to his Patreon if you really want to get next level information in the ball python game. He will get you excited about being in the ball python game. Villarino Reptiles, thank you so much. Tuesday nights, All in the Tree Tuesdays. Bill Stiegel, Marshall Mendez, dude. What if you were talking about a Chondro podcast? Name two better co-hosts out there. You can't. Those are the dogs, bro. Okay, maybe Gary could join in, and Ryan Young, but Ryan is such a snob with the locality stuff. I just feel like he just needs to chill out and just. I'm just kidding. No, I love Ryan too. Honestly, it would be great to have Ryan and Gary a part of the Tuesday nights, but I'm not gonna fucking, it's asking for too much. I feel like it's a little bit greediness. But shout out to Bill Stiegel. Okay, the guy is retired from his field of work, anesthesiologist, ex-anesthesiologist. Okay, now one of the biggest known chondro breeders in the game. But he also has a life that he has with his wife, his grandkids. I'm sure he can have other stuff to do, but he commits to it, man. Every Tuesday, he's been a part of my All in the Tree Tuesdays here on the network. And then shout out to Marshall Mendez, a goat, man, like a veteran in the chondro game. One of the most jaded motherfuckers I've ever met, but I feel like that's helped me a lot too. Like, stop taking things so seriously, MJ. Like, that's kind of Marshall's fucking thing. Like, why are you so serious, dude? So learned a lot from my boy Marshall, who's not retired from work. Wish he was just full-time breeding, but he guys knows what he's doing. So he has his career, he has a job that he grinds weekly, and he still shows up Tuesdays, which is still amazing to me because, yeah, you know what? I love the chondros, but Tuesdays would not be the same without Marshall and Bill Stiegel, especially if we're talking about All in the Tree Tuesdays. So thank you to those two guys, Red Mount Herps on Instagram and also the Phoenix Reptiles. You can subscribe on Instagram to Bill Stiegel's Phoenix Reptile page. So make sure you do that as well. But I love you boys. Thank you so much. And then someone else I'm very proud to call a part of this network, Stephen Cush. Cush's Corner, man. Stephen he's been built for reptile podcasting ever since I've known him, just because when it comes to someone who's been so passionate about the animals at a young age into his adulthood, dude, he was meant to do this. And what I mean by that, like, meant to be part of the reptile world. And the reptile podcasting is part of the reptile world, big time. And so to have Steven come every Wednesday, show up, put on an amazing episode every time with guests that a lot of people don't know, topics that are not being discussed, that's Cush's Corner, man. And I'm so proud of Stephen Cush, where he's come, where he started and where he's at. The future's so bright for Steven. So if you guys are not already, you guys make sure to go give him a follow, the Scrub Shepherd, especially if you're into scrub pythons, or if you want to learn more about scrub pythons. Stephen Cush, dude, that's your guy. He is scrub pythons. That's the scrub king. So, and again, Wednesday, right here on the network, you can find Cush's Corner. Thank you so much, Stephen. I appreciate you so much. I'm looking forward to many, many adventures with you here in the network. Stephen's a lifer. I'll tell you that right now. So thank you so much, Stephen. Thursday nights, man, is just you and I, guys. Like what's happening right now. Thursday nights belong to the Trap. You guys know that. All my podcasts have started on a Thursday night here on this network 6 years ago. Trap Talk with MJ was always on a Thursday, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Due to having children, your whole standard times are out the window. So now, we're 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Might even throw in some 9 a.m. episodes. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, man, listen, Thursday nights is where it all started, baby. In my eyes, it's the main day of the week for me. Night of the week are Thursday nights right here. So thank you so much for all the love and support, people who show up on the Thursday nights. And again, just wouldn't be where I'm at without you guys. So thank you so much. Fridays are amazing because it's, of course, dedicated to more colubrids bi-weekly with Dave Levison. And hold on one second. So I hope I didn't delete it too much. If not, I'll put it in there. But Dave Levison and Jeff, JMG Reptiles, okay? They had their own episode bi-weekly, but they merged, okay? They merged due to just, I don't know, so many reasons why they merged, but they merged. And I came up with the name, and they're happy with the name. So bi-weekly Fridays, it's Dave Levison and JMG on One Nation Under Herps podcast. With these guys, enjoy. Man, Fridays right here, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Good way to start off your weekend, and good way to have a Friday night is with these two for sure, because you guys will learn a lot, man. They talk about a lot. especially colubrids, hognoses. A lot of like unsung hero species are discussed on these Friday nights. So thank you so much, Dave Levison, who I look at as one of the best people in the hobby today. Information, knowledge-wise, top tier. Dave is the man when it comes to reptile knowledge, industry knowledge. He's seen all the ups and downs, and he's my boy. Thank you so much, David Levison. And of course, Junior, JMG Reptiles, man. I would say he's the hognose reptile fucking boss. Nobody does hognoses like Junior, and that's a fact. JMG Reptiles. Appreciate you guys so much. You guys are awesome. But guys, check them out on Instagram, JMG Reptiles on IG, and also make sure you follow them on Facebook as well. So, man, I haven't done a one-on-one podcast in a while. I feel like I'm gassing. My bad, guys. But listen, all right, I do want to say shout out to Saturdays, okay? Because Saturdays, it's all about the monitors, man. Shout out to the monitors. Monitors are not for everyone, but they're the most interesting reptiles you could keep. If you really want something that pays attention to you, dude, monitors, no joke. But then again, you need to consider a lot of things before getting into the monitors. And thankfully, we had Uncle Mike Stefani and his co-host Jen Black do all monitor talk on Saturdays right here. It was 9 a.m., man. They were so consistent. I will tell you right now, there are some changes happening on Saturdays on this bi-weekly episode. Well, actually, hold on. Before we get into Saturday, let's rewind. I didn't even shout out one of the other episodes I'm very proud to announce that's happening here on the network, and I apologize to my boy. But guys, on the other days of the week, on the other weeks of the month here on the network, when it's not One Nation Under Herps, it is the Bolin Pythons Roundtable with my man Ari Flagel, okay, who's bringing on guests that are just full of knowledge, okay, stuff that is so important for people to listen to. And I'm so excited to have Ari a part of this mission here on the network. I would definitely go check him out on Instagram, Project Black Python, and just subscribe, man. Be ready for this continued on series here on the network every other Friday. Thank you so much, Ari Flagel. But yeah, back to Saturdays, guys. My bad. I want to say shout out to Uncle Mike and Jen Black, who and also Kat Brown. You know, those three did an amazing job running all monitor talk. And then on the other Fridays of the week, on the other Saturdays, I'm all over the place right now. So on the other weeks of the month on a Saturday, right? We had Varana's Vault. We still have Varana's Vault. Thank God. You know, Chris Applin, who is just killing it from Indonesia. And if you want to talk about someone who's talking about stuff that's happening from the wild, from the thick of everything, you got to make sure you check out Varana's Vaults. Okay. And that's on the other Saturdays of the month here on the network. And then last but not least, dude, shout out to Krista from Nerify Exotics, who has her female podcast called the Girls Who Love Reptiles podcast every Sunday on the network. She's been so consistent. She's been so excited to put out information out there that she's passionate to learn about. And she's been bringing on some of the most amazing guests. And she's also a career woman herself. Like her life is no joke. And she's so committed to the reptiles. And so very proud to have Krista a part of the entire journey. She's definitely like a good friend. I look at her like family, man. Krista and Amelia are like family to me. Anyway, I mean, everyone on the network is like family to me. I really feel like we spend so much time together. Like, how are we not family at this point? So, and I would not be where I'm at without any of these people that I just mentioned. It is the reason why the Trap Talk Reptile Network is the coolest reptile network in the world. And that's a fact. They all speak for it. You know what I'm saying? And so many new things to be looking forward to for 2026. I am going to spill the beans right now, okay? So as much as I enjoyed doing a weekly Tuesday podcast with Bill Stiegel and Marshall Mendez, we are changing to bi-weekly. Calm down, I know. But listen, at the end of the day, guys, I want to get some more information out there that involve other species. As much as I love the chondros, chondro content isn't going anywhere, okay? On the weeks where there's no Tuesday on the Tree Tuesday, Thursdays we'll be talking about chondros. So keep that in mind. There will never be 1 week on Trap Talk Reptile Network where we're not talking about chondros. So take a deep breath. But I'm so excited because a lot of you have asked me, MJ, whatever happened to Fat Snake Tuesdays? Because we all know before On the Tree Tuesdays, it was called Fat Snake Tuesdays. It was all dedicated to retics, berms, African rock pythons, all the big species, all the large and in charge reptile snakes out there. And you're right. Where is it? It needs to come back. And it's coming back. First week of January. New series begins with Rob Roush and my buddy Derek Stack. Retic Reflection podcast happening bi-weekly here on Tuesday nights, 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. All you Retic lovers, you guys are in for a treat. If it's one thing I feel like the Retic community needs, a little bit of guidance. All right. You guys need a captain. You guys need somebody to gather you all around and be excited, focus on the positive things versus all the drama, because I'm so tired of Retic community being known for drama. I mean, because it's not just a Retic community, it's also all communities, but Retic community gets it the worst. They really do. So I am so happy that Rob is willing to step up to the plate and shine some light on the Retic world. And he has an awesome co-host, Derek Stack, new to the game, works at KINOVA, definitely an up-and-comer. So be ready for that bi-weekly here on the network. And again, real exciting stuff. I have some other stuff that's in the works. I don't want to address it quite yet, but you'll see sooner or later. But again, yeah, guys, listen, I want to say that to wrap everything up, you know, I think the biggest thing I want to talk to you guys about is personal development, you know, physical health, mental health, health overall. I turned 40 this year, which is crazy to say. You know, to me, I always thought 40 was like, it's old. And whoever's out there saying it is old, shut up. I know. I don't feel old. That's the thing. That's the thing. I don't feel old, but I got some really good people in my life. You know, first and foremost, my wife. Like, my wife is the reason, I could say right now, is the reason why I'm 8 months sober on alcohol. I have not had a sip of alcohol in 8 months because I was drinking every day. Like, I think this time last year, I was drinking probably 2 or 3 IPAs a day, like every day. And then once the weekends hit, double, and then wine, and then everything else. And I would, you know, my wife would see me go through some stages. I would drink beer on a night to night basis. Then it would be bourbon, you know, and then it would be wine. And I would go through like all these cycles. And I was doing that for a while. And my wife was like, dude, you're drinking every night. And I'm like, I was like, I got friends that do it, friends that are like 60. But anyways, I didn't realize how much of a toll it was really taking on me. But holy cow, man, it really was. My weight got pretty bad. I also had a lot of things happening with me health-wise that were kind of keeping me from working out. Like, I had knee problems. I ended up having 2 knee surgeries last year. So during that time of not being able to really work out and just be with animals, I drank. That's all I can do is drink because it was fun. I mean, it felt fun at least, but it definitely started getting to me weight-wise, mood-wise. I'd feel like, you know, I didn't drink on the show, but as soon as the show was over, I was cracking one open for sure. And so it got to a point, especially after I had my knee surgeries, I weighed myself and I was like 247. I was like, holy shit. I was almost 250 pounds. Mind you, the heaviest I've ever been was 260 pounds. And that's what started my whole fitness journey back in 2015 was I was like, dude, what the, that's heavy. You know what I mean? And I just didn't feel healthy. And so I was kind of back to that stage where I'm like, dude, I'm almost to where I was when I started everything as far as fitness related goes. And it was scary to me because I was like, I don't want to be close to that number, but 247. And I was like, and mind you, as you get older, this whole weight thing isn't easy to lose. Like, it gets harder. And so as I was hitting the gym, like, yeah, I would have moments where I would do good and then I would fall off, do good. I would fall off. And the gym's all about consistency. If you're not consistent, you're not going to ever see results. Like, you're going to always stay wherever your body decides to stay, especially if you are eating bad. And the thing with me is when I cut drinking out, I kind of went from drinking to like binge feeding on food. Like, food is what I started leaning towards on, which was bad because I just told you I used to drink a lot. Then I started eating a lot. And my thing was chocolates. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I have a chocolate problem. I mean, I love chocolates. And so with the chondro success and everything else just going so peachy, I was like, I'm eating chocolates every night. I don't give a fuck. But goddamn, that was not good. Because mind you, again, like, you know, I wasn't really getting to the point where I was going to the gym and I would feel a lot better, right? So the thing was, right, guys, before I got to the consistency of going to the gym, and it all started by getting a personal trainer. Shout out to my personal trainer, Jason. It's my dog right there. But, you know, me going to the gym on my own wasn't working out because of the inconsistency. Like, I would just, you know, if there was a day I didn't feel like going, I wouldn't go. And that's not how the gym works. Like, the gym, the days you got to go to the gym are the days you don't feel like going. Those are the biggest days you have to go. And so I was using every excuse in the book not to go to the gym. And then I finally said, you know, MJ, you know, personal training, what it does for you. You know, your wife's a personal trainer. I don't want Lily to personal train me. I love her. She already kind of personal trains me in other things in life, but like weights, I'm good. Even though she could probably outlift me, but yeah. So I got a personal trainer, you know, and once I got a personal trainer, it made me stay consistent because I'm not going to pay for something, not use it. If I'm paying for something, I'm going to use it. And so glad I did, because that got me on the first track of like, all right, dude, you're consistently going to the gym. You're getting stronger. What else is going on? And I want to say shout out to my boy Socrates. You guys know a good friend of mine who's, you know, been a good mentor of mine for the last 5 years, Arieli Maxiborials. He's always been someone about like, MJ, why are you eating that? Why are you drinking that? I'll never forget the time where we all went to bar checks. And then it was me, Ariana, his daughter, him, and Mark Bailey. And we were hungry. I'm like, let's go to Applebee's. And he's like, Applebee's? His eyes went like that. And so we go to Applebee's, and first thing me and Mark ordered was a sampler. And it comes out, and we're just digging in. And literally, you should have saw Sock's face. He's like he's so intrigued watching us eat this stuff. And I'm just like, dude, you're not going to have, I'm like looking at him, like stuffing my mouth. I'm like, you're not going to have any? And he's like, mm-mm. I'm like, dude, this shit's delicious. And so he's always trying to give me clues like, MJ, this shit's not good for you. And so got to the point where I had another good friend of mine too, who's getting some blood work done. And I'm like, you know what, let me see what's really happening. Cause I could tell you, I was getting some stuff done to show that, like, you know, I had low testosterone, and like, there was stuff I wanted to address. And so when you start looking into like what's lacking in your body and what's hurting, oh my God, it gets scary, dude. And what's crazy is I recently got blood work done a month ago and saw some stuff that's just it's not good, guys. I'm okay, but if I don't make changes, it won't be good. You know what I'm saying? And I don't, you know, having 2 kids, like, man, like I can't think of leaving this earth sooner than I should be without fulfilling what I could see with my 2 children and my wife. And, you know, I don't know. It just really hit like, do I want to continue this? And so I just want to recommend anyone out there who's not feeling good, or maybe if they feel like something's off, dude, look into your health. Okay. I'm not trying to be your health coach or anything like that. I'm just saying, as much as it was a kind of like not a thought in my mind, it's something where I'll never overlook ever again, because there are things I want to address. There's things I want to fix. The fact that I'm working out is huge. I got to eat right. You know, I got to eat right. All that chocolate stuff, everything that I was doing, it's literally catching up to me. It really is. And it's something where if I don't stop it, it's going to be an issue, and I don't want it to be an issue. Okay. And so, yeah, man, listen, again, like, there's no point of having success if you're not healthy. Like, you got to be healthy. And that's kind of what my message is to close off tonight's episode, is like, don't think it's all about making money. Don't think it's all about being successful. Like, you have to take care of your health. You can't ignore the signs. You can't ignore how you feel. It's not okay to be tired every day. Look into it. I'm telling you. And honestly, if you guys start seeing where things could change, you'll notice some things that make you feel better. I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I already feel much better. I feel so much better. I'm already down. Let's see. So I started personal training with Jason 2 months ago, I would say. I think it was October is when we started training. I'm already down 20 pounds, but I'm stronger than ever. Just look into it. And because now I like, if I could feel good on top of doing stuff in my room that's good, it's like, that's what I want. I want everything to feel good. I don't want to have success. I don't want to be good on the podcast and then feel miserable off of it. That's not the way to live. And honestly, guys, like, I'm the kind of person where if I'm miserable, it carries with me. Like, my wife is affected by it. My friends are affected by it. Everyone's affected by my misery. And I don't want to be that way. I really don't. And I feel like I have been that way to a lot of you guys. And, you know, and I feel like I've apologized a lot already, but I just want to say I'm sorry for anyone out there I kind of like dragged on, or like kind of maybe feel not important. Like, it's not, dude, it's really not you. Like, I have a lot that I'm dealing with, and I'm not making any excuses, but having to take care of my health, having to take care of 2 kids, mind you, one's 2 years old, the other one's a month, you know, and then hold all this stuff down, the network, the snakes, you know, I had coming off the biggest year ever breeding. Now I'm going into next year. Like, it just, if you're not careful, it could really be heavy. It could really be heavy. And it got heavy for me for a minute. I had the biggest challenges emotionally, mentally, at the end of this year recently, but it also like checked me. Like, it made me realize, like, what I need to do. So if I could inspire anyone out there, I just want to inspire them by letting them know they should take care of themselves. Especially if you have people you really love out there. Like if you're looking at somebody and you're like, I want to take care of you, like, then you need to take care of yourself. Because if there's people out there you want to take care of for whatever reason, like you know how many people I want to take care of because I just love them so much. If you're one of those people, then dude, take care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself, dude, you're going to affect other people. And that's the one thing you don't want. You don't want your own misery to be someone else's misery, you know, but also like you could fix it. You could fix it. And it's just no life to live miserable. I'll tell you that right now. So that's it. You know, at the end of the day, guys, I had other stuff I want to talk about. You know, I had a list of all the drama that happened this year, but who gives a shit? I mean, whatever, dude. I mean, more drama's on the way. We all know. I will say going into next year, I mean, I had plenty of people call me out this year. Some out of showers. Like some people said some stuff that was like, what the hell is that? But then again, like, so what? I let them. Had no effect on my success with the breeding. I had no success with my sponsorships that I got coming for next year. I had no effect on anything. My bills are paid. And there's people in the shower speaking about me. So it's like, whew, wow, who cares? That's what I have to say to all the drama this year. Who cares? All right. And so going into next year, again, drama, who cares? I don't care. Now, mind you, I will address piece of shit things that happen in the hobby. It's what Trap Talk's all about. You do people dirty, you want to hide. We're going to talk about it for sure. But at the end of the day, let's talk about you in the shower. Dude, who cares, bro? Get yourself checked out. Seriously. Seriously. All right. All right. Listen, wow. 2025. I'm happy it's gone. 2026. I am ready. Excited to kind of share some of the new sponsors I have going into next year. Because again, I wouldn't be where I'm at without my sponsors. And shout out to all my sponsors that have supported me. You guys are amazing. I'm excited to announce that Jersey Guy Balls is one of the new sponsors, main sponsors of the Trap Talk Reptile Network. Looking forward to having episodes with Brett to talk about his sunset puzzle projects. And this guy's tapped into, he has tornado stuff. You don't want to miss the heat coming from Jersey Guys Balls. So check him out on Instagram and be ready. Thank you so much, Brett and his dad, John, for supporting the network, man. Some two real ones, man. Awesome father and son duo. So check them out, Jersey Guys Balls. Another exciting new sponsor is my man, Josh Hansen from Workshop Reptilium. Now, guys, we're going to be thinking outside the box when it comes to enclosures, how things are normally kept in the hobby. Josh is going to be pushing all boundaries. He has one of the nicest facilities. I'm so excited to display for you guys in the near future. I'm going to be flying to his place. But guys, check him out on Instagram. Follow all this man's social media plugs. You can find them in the description below. Workshop Reptilium. Thank you so much, Josh Hansen. I appreciate you so much. And looking forward to working with you in the future, in the near future. It's going to be awesome. Last but not least, shout out to the one and only Morph Market and Morph Market Shipping. Guys, who made the biggest impact in the reptile industry of 2025? You're looking at it. Morph Market Shipping, man. Talk about savings. Talk about simplicity. Talk about the future. Morph Market is the best. Hands down. Shipping, the best. Hands down. Shout out to you if you saved a lot of money on Morph Market Shipping. Drop a comment. Please drop a comment in the comment section. If you saved tons of money this year that you're able to spend on Christmas gifts or on yourself, whatever, drop a comment. I'm one of them. Thank you so much, Darian and the entire Morph Market team, because it is a team and they're killing it. And there's many, many new announcements with Morph Market to come. And you can hear all those announcements here on the network. And I would definitely recommend following Morph Market's YouTube channel, because I do all the vlogging for that channel. So go support Morph Market's YouTube channel. Go subscribe. And yeah, listen, that's all I have to say. I do want to say, last but not least, my biggest highlight of the year, as far as what I did for this network, was not only just bring all the amazing hosts that put in mad work here, but I just want to say shout out to Lori Barczyk for coming on. Honestly, having Lori come back on the show was pretty emotional, but so inspiring, because I look up to her a lot. I look up to everything that she's done. What her and Brian have done for the industry is dude, nobody's done what they've done. And she has still continued to carry that passion. And that's not easy to do when you lose your best friend and the person you started everything with. And so shout out to Lori Barczyk. Thank you so much for making my year. You're amazing. Everything that you have going on over there is just inspiring. Shout out to the entire Legacy team, Reptilium. You guys are all amazing, man. And again, just wanted to add things with that. I appreciate you guys so much. Did I get everything I wanted to talk about? I think I did. Okay, guys, thank you again. All the love and support. I appreciate it. Please go give me a follow on Instagram, Trap Talk 619. And again, if this is your first time listening, subscribe. Okay, subscribe to this network because you don't want to miss it. Every day of the week, there is a new episode being released, and you can listen to all these episodes on all major audio platforms. There's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, all the major ones. So wherever you listen to these, thank you so much for your love and support. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you in 2026. Well, even though you already see me now, you know what I mean, man. Listen, thank you so much. I had an amazing year, and if you did too, great. And if you didn't, guess what? It's a new year. The up and up is here, and I'll see you at the top.